The Q&A for location cards is officially over, and we now know how location cards are played. Let's dive right in. Hi everyone, this is Disam from Mush Report, and yes, we now have the full details on how to play location cards. So let's dive right in. First up, let's go into the properties of a location cards. There's a few things to note, mainly the card cost, the willpower, the law, and the move cost of a location card. And of course, Forbidden Mountain doesn't have it, but if they do, there is also the ability of a location card. So these are the 5 main properties you need to load for a location card. As to how a location card is played, this is a little something I made to explain how the location cards work. So I have some ink in my inkwell, I have a character already in play, the new Peter Pan Lost Boy leader, I have a Forbidden Mountain and an Olaf in my hand. The first thing you might want to note here is that location cards have to follow the same deck building rules as per any card. You can have only 2 colors inside your deck. And yeah, the Forbidden Mountain must be one of those ink colors. And also, by the way, you can only have 4 copies of a Forbidden Mountain in your deck. So that applies to all your normal deck building rules. Now, so let's say that I want to play out Forbidden Mountain. Forbidden Mountain has a cost of 2. So to do that, what I need to do is just the usual, take 2 cards in my inkwell, 2 ink, exert them, and I can play Forbidden Mountain. But Forbidden Mountain comes into play directly as a horizontal card. So they come into play in a sense exerted, but they don't ready, they don't exert, they just stay in play constantly as a horizontal card. That also indicates that they can be challenged, but more on that later on. Now, how do I move a character into a location card? That's really simple. I just need to pay the move cost. So Forbidden Mountain has a move cost of 1. So I just take 1 ink, I exert it, and I can move Peter Pan into the Forbidden Mountain. And also, if let's just say I want to play Olaf, okay, let's just pay 1 ink to pay for the cost of Olaf. Then Olaf comes into play, and on the very same turn, I can also pay 1 ink to move Olaf directly into Forbidden Mountain. There is no particular restriction whether the character has to have dry ink, they can still have wet ink, or in kind of normal standard TCG terms, they don't have to wait a turn after they are played to move into a location. They can just move into the location directly. So yeah, there's no restrictions. And then for a character that's inside a location, there's also no change to how they interact. Basically, they can still exert to challenge, they can exert to quest, they can still use all their abilities as per usual. So yes, there's basically no change at all. The thing to take note about moving a character though is that your characters do not get to just leave a location. They have to stay in a location and they are stuck there. Unless, if let's just say I have another Forbidden Mountain that's already in play. Then well, I just need to pay 1 ink and then I can move Olaf directly into the other Forbidden Mountain. As long as I have enough ink to pay for the move cost, I can just constantly move a character non-stop between 2 different locations or more locations if I want to. Yeah, there's basically no restrictions. That's the whole idea. But how do you leave a location really? Legitly is if a location actually gets banished. So let's just say Olaf is in the 2nd location. It gets banished for some reason, and then Olaf just falls out. Nothing happens to Olaf. It just basically stay in play, and they fall out of the location. They are considered to no longer be in the location, and that's the whole idea. So that's it. But how do you banish a location? Currently, there is only one way to banish a location, which is through a challenge, because location cards have willpower. So Forbidden Mountain has a willpower of 6. So how do you banish it is, let's just say that your opponent brings out a Maui Hero to All, which has 6 strength. So your opponent can use the Maui that has Rush, by the way, to just challenge on your Forbidden Mountain, and Forbidden Mountain will just get banished straight away because it takes 6 damage counters and it's same amount as the willpower, and it just gets banished. That's the whole idea. Also, location cards do not have any strength, so they do not do any damage back to Maui. And at the same time, to note, it doesn't have to be straight away 6 strength to take out 6 willpower. You can have the characters ganging up on a single location, or it can be damage accumulated over multiple turns, and yes, a location card will get banished. And that's how you banish a location card. And lastly, there is law on a location card. How do you gain the law? That's really simple. Okay, if you have a location card that's already in play from a previous turn, during a following turn in your start stat, which is part of your beginning phase. If you're not too sure what I'm talking about, go and check out your quick start guide, or it's also up in the wiki as to what the start step is. So during the start step, which is basically the beginning of your turn, you will be able to gain the amount of lore that is shown on the location card. You do not have to have a character inside a location. If there's one inside or there's no characters inside, it does not matter. You just gain the amount of lore that is stated on a location. So that's the idea. Forbidden Mountain will just gain you one lore every single turn just by existing on the board. That's how simple it is. So now, is there any real benefit to having a character inside a location? Does anything really change? No, basically nothing really is different. Your location cards are fine existing on their own with or without a character, and there's no real benefits for a character to directly be in a location unless they have ability that states it. For example, the brand new Mickey Mouse Funky Spelunker will actually gain 2 strength while she's inside a location, or of course Peter Pan will actually gain you 1 lore just by moving into a location. So these are some of the interactions to take note. As for more card interactions, I do have a few for you, so let's go through them. Let me look at my notes. First up, it actually states in its text that they only protect your characters. They do not protect cards. So if there's a bodyguard character on the field, let's just say Hercules True Hero and a Forbidden Mountain, your opponent's Maui can still challenge your Forbidden Mountain. They can ignore Hercules totally because, yeah, it only protects characters. Also, all your Be Prepared, your Dragonfire, all these cards that actually banish characters, they also do not have any effect on Forbidden Mountain or any location card. So you have Forbidden Mountain and multiple characters on the board, your opponent plays Be Prepared, all your characters get swept away, banished into the discard pile, but your location actually just stays in play. Next, at the same time, currently, all cards that remove damage counters, so let's say your healing abilities with your Rapunzel, with your Gumbo Pot, all that good stuff, well, they also state that they remove damage only from characters. They do not remove damage from a location card because it states character in the ability text. Now, that may change in the future with other cards that actually state maybe they remove damage from a card and not just a character card. So you need to check the ability text specifically to see what it states on the card to know whether it will affect a location card. Then lastly, a reckless character. So let's just say, like for example, our Maui Hero to All, when they challenge a character, if there's no other character card on your board, you only have Forbidden Mountain on your board, they must challenge the location card because reckless doesn't state that they need to challenge a character card, it just says that they need to challenge. So yeah, they still have to challenge your location cards even if you have no other characters on the board. So that's pretty much the whole idea for all the card interactions. I hope I covered everything regarding the locations. If I missed anything out, feel free to add in the comments below. If you have any other questions, I think we'll have to ask them inside the official Lorcana server. They've been very helpful with answering ruling questions there so far, and I've been adding tons of stuff into the ruling questions. So yeah, some stuff to actually take note of. But meanwhile, I hope this video was useful to you to understand everything about location cards, and that's about it for this one. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. This is D from Mushu Report, signing out. Bye guys.